Mm-mm. We are live.
Hello,
Welcome.
everybody.
Welcome. No, there's nothing wrong with my camera. I just thought I would bring a surprise to you. And I'm kind of waiting for Mr. Pineapples. He's having some technical difficulties, but we'll bring him on here shortly.
And Joe's the real life technical difficulties.
Right. Right. Real life.
Real life. Seriously, I can't get over that picture you posted. Balana's gonna kill me. She's gonna be like, I never want to speak to her again because she thinks that's me.
Right. I was like, no, why would you think that?
Did you show it to her?
No, she came home, took a shower, and went straight to her boyfriend's house. I'm like,
I gotcha.
like, great.
Gosh. Okay, so maybe she'll wait a couple of days before she hears that comment.
Yeah. She's going to be like really upset about that, but that's okay.
That's funny. Well, just tell her I didn't mean it like that.
Right. So how'd your day go?
Well, okay, so my day was really good. I went to the office today. But I was telling you earlier, and I'll tell everybody. So y'all know y'all might know that I've been working really hard on trying to go TikTok famous, and I'm not really working that hard on it. But, so the other night I was looking through TikTok and I saw this challenge that said sigh really heavily and see what your significant other, what your spouse says, Anyway, so I did it and Eric did nothing. He didn't even hear me. And I mean, it was a loud sigh. It was like, and I'm like looking over at him. At one point, he scratches his nose a little bit. Anyway, so all of my TikToks are epic fails.
Epic fail.
We fell so miserably. And I don't know if y'all saw, I shared one. I don't know if you saw it, Joe. It was it's the poop challenge. So
the poop challenge.
Yes. So what you do this to your toddlers, and my niece was here. So what you do is you get like peanut butter, Nutella, something chocolatey, and you have them bring you toilet paper and you smear it on them. So, okay. So some of these videos have been hilarious. There's like, these kids are like, what is it? What is it? And they're gagging. Like they are so upset.
Because you might poop on them.
Yes, because you got poop on them. And so I told Eric, I said, okay, let's plan it. We're going to do it to my niece. And my niece is Anave. And so,
oh, right.
And so anyway, so I'm like, hey, can y'all bring me some toilet paper? And so she comes in here and I have it ready. And of course I get it on my door. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst. And so I smear it on her hand. And she just is like, walks out, like wipes it on her shirt and then just walks out, says nothing. And I'm like, how do these people get these kids to do stuff? I can't get my husband to react. I can't get my niece to react. So I'm like,
it's all fake. It's everything staged.
It has to be. I'm like, y'all are losers because nobody reacts to anything of mine. So
you're just like, anything.
Like seriously. Oh, and then I did another one. Okay. So you sit with your dog and you just look out the window and you're like, hey, so am I supposed to do this all day?
Uh-huh.
My dog pounces on me. He's trying to chew my cap off. And I'm like, oh my God, like seriously.
You just had a total failure all the way around.
Seriously, if y'all watch any of that stuff, any of my TikToks, I am total failure. Like I just can't get it together.
So you're not failure, Sandy.
Hey, it's Mr. Pineapple.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry about being late. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yet again.
I was sitting down and rolling the mouse. And I was like, that's not supposed to happen. And I'm trying to get everything. I'm like, what's going on here? I had to reboot the computer and come in and there was stuff popping up. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's crap on my computer. I'm gonna have to get it all cleaned off after the show's over and started installing stuff. So
that's crazy. That's
crazy. If you need help, just let me know. I'm an IT guru.
You're very useful.
Right. She is the IT person of the show. So I'm going to start before we get started.
Yes, Andy, thank you for asking.
Before we get started, we're going to go ahead and do our small business plug. Today is about.
Where's Joe? Oh, sorry.
I'm here. Hold on just a second. I'll tell you about my day after I introduce our business.
You're a glowing ball now?
Right.
It's like an eyeball or something.
This business is called Lubbock Board and Brush. Board and Brush.
Oh, I love them.
I don't know what they are.
They are a DIY. If you be quiet, I'll tell you because I'm sure they're listening and want to know. So it's a DIY wood sign workshop that offers fun, creative workshops where you make the wooden sign and we teach you all of the steps. And best part of all, they're BYOB.
Yes, hallelujah.
Bring your own brush.
Bring your own beer, Mr.
Oh,
Pineapples.
Bring your own beverage.
What's your beverage of choice, Sandy, when you go there?
Chilton's.
Nice.
White Claw.
Oh,
During the quarantine, we are offering craft boxes for pickup via our drive-thru. Check them out on Facebook or the Lubbock page at www.boardandbrush.com/Lubbock. This is from Nick and Heather Talman, and we'll post their information in our comments so you guys can get some more information about that. So that sounds fun. It's kind of like painting with a twist, but with wooden signs.
Yes, and I have made a lot of my patio signs there. And then actually, I have one in here, but you can't see it, that I've made there. But yes, I love them. And I need to go because I have like a free session because I go so much.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's better than go. What's the name of it again, Joe?
Board and Brush.
You know what's better than Board and Brush? Free Board and Brush.
Yes, exactly. Yes to that.
Exactly.
That is cool though. I want to just that just sounds fun, Joe. Like so people can go pick up these arts and crafty things and then bring it home, which is cool because all we hear a lot about lately, and no disrespect to it, like the curbside pickup with restaurants and stuff. So this is actually something different outside of that, like curbside arts and crafts for the family or for whatever. And that just sounds cool. Like if I was in Lubbock, I totally would be going there and doing that like every Saturday just to be like, okay, family, it's time for our weekly arts and craft thing, just to do something different while being in home all the time.
Yeah, it's something that you'll always remember during your quarantine when you see it hanging. You remember that?
Right. Yeah, that was when we were locked up.
Remember last year? This year's different when we're locked up now.
Right. I feel like such a loser too because like Sandy,
I understand.
The last two businesses that we've talked about, you're like, oh, I know them. And I'm like, I've never heard of them.
That's because they're not restaurants. If they were restaurants, Joe would be like, been there.
Right. Well, I don't even know about that because
so if it was the same three restaurants, Joe would be like, yeah, I go there, I go there, I go there.
Exactly. I have a pretty tight circle of restaurants.
Yeah. And you know what? We do too, because they're like, oh, we already had that this week. We've already been there this week. And then we, so we're kind of the same. We stick to our own, and then we go out, and then we're like, we need to try that again, and then we never go back and try it.
Yeah,
right.
So exactly. Okay, have y'all seen the post on Facebook where they're like, tropical beaches? Where's your dream vacation, or where are you going to go whenever the quarantine's done? And there people are like, I want to go to Puerto Vallarta, I want to go to Puerto Rico, I want to go to the Dominican Republic, and all these places. And I'm like, Chili's. I want to go to Chili's when this is all done. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Let me tell you, when I go to Chili's, I feel like I get treated like a king. I go there and they're like, the wait's like 20 or 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, and I sit down and Chase. I hope you're watching this one day, buddy. But Chase will come by and be like, he's like, dude, hi man, what's up? And I'm like, oh, nothing. We're just waiting. He goes, all right, hold on. He goes up to the host stand. He talks to someone like you, Sandy, back in the day. He's like, I got you. Just give me a couple minutes. And I'm like, what? Booyah! Sit down quick. Booyah. And then he's like, got you some chips and sauce.
Well, because they know they'll leave a negative review.
Oh yeah. No, he'll go straight to the manager. He's like,
I go straight to the manager and do the review. I had a corporate leader. He called me up today. It was the first time I got a call. He left me a message. He goes, Mr. Pena, I heard about your experience and I just wanted to give you a call and please call me back because we need to talk about this. And I was like, call you back? I was like, wow. Whoa. I'm just used to sending me something. He was like, no, we're going to do that. He's like, but call me because we want to get this taken care of. And I was like,
you have a direct line to corporate now.
For real, though, I'm going to be like, corporate, you want to get on the line and tell me what you want to say in front of all of our viewers?
Right?
All right. Well, let me tell you about my day.
Okay, Joe, we're ready.
And so I thought,
hold on.
I was having trouble
all right, now tell us.
with my hair, and it just won't brush out. So I'm just really need some help here, and I'm so happy that we have a beauty guru on today to help me out with my hair.
Where did you get that?
What are you talking about?
Where did you get that microphone?
You look like a retired wrestler gone bad or something.
I mean, you look like most of the people that can't go to the salon these days.
Look, my roots are showing. This is just crazy. This is just crazy.
Joe. So that picture earlier was totally you then.
Right.
Oh.
It's crazy. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy.
Oh
and second part, I don't understand how you females and some males put up with hair this long. Oh my gosh. I've been wearing it for like 5-10 minutes and I'm like sweating buckets right now. I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. So it's amazing.
You know how bad I miss my long hair though? Because I chopped off like 5 inches.
When?
I miss it so bad.
Did I not notice again?
No, not recently. I mean, I did this. I can't remember back when I did it, but I tried because I'm trying to get all my curl back, so I had to chop off quite a bit. It was like 5 to 6 inches.
Sandy, I thought so. Sandy was pregnant a long while back, and apparently I just totally missed that part. And we were friends back then, and somehow I was just like, and I told her I was like, I remember the overalls. I just one day. You were gone for a little bit, and the next day, Alex was hanging around. And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" So when she said she cut her hair, I'm like, "What? How did I not notice it?" So you see where I'm coming from, everyone. Just so you know, that's why I was like, "Okay, wait a minute. You got to tell me when you go through those major changes because I want to keep up, but I don't. You know." So yeah. Anyway,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy, Joe.
I think we're going to get on to our guest, and let me tell you about our guest. Oh wait, let's this comment right here. Not quite. It
hasn't worked its way down there yet.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know by now, most of you should know, but I am a photographer. When I first started doing photographs, I reached out to certain people to work with and to practice with and take pictures of. Miss Kylie Boyd, our guest today, was one of my very first models. And when I reached out to her, she was just, because I didn't have anything to show that I was a good photographer. But when I reached out to her, she was so welcoming and she was very professional. And she's been a great person to work with. She has been Miss 2012 Teen Lubbock, 2013 Teen Texas. And then in 2015, she was Miss Texas Collegiate. So she has a lot of background, especially with the makeup part of it. I'm wearing the hair, but unfortunately, she's just doing makeup today. So we'll have to see if she can help out with the hair later.
I'm sorry.
And the cool thing, without further ado, we're going to bring on Miss Kylie, and she is actually going to be doing her makeup for us today during the show. And you guys can ask her questions. And we'll definitely be asking her questions because look at this hair. And so she's going to help us guide us along the way. And please, if you have any questions, let us know and go from there. So, Miss Kylie, welcome to the show. And
hi, Kylie.
Welcome, Kylie. Thank you for showing up.
Joe.
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome.
I'm so excited to have you here, Kylie.
I'm so excited to share all of my favorite tips and tricks. I brought some of the best out that very few know. So y'all are getting an inside scoop.
Okay, that's cool. I'm actually turning up my brightness because I'm like, oh, I really need to pay attention here.
Right, exactly. So, Miss Kylie, you used to live here in Lubbock, and now you live in Houston.
Yes.
So far away from me, we do not get to shoot anymore. And I'm very upset about this.
I know. All of this craziness is over. I do plan on visiting my family back in Lubbock, and we will definitely get together.
Oh, yes.
And see everybody and say hi because I miss all of my Lubbock people. And
that's all that matters. Me. That's all that matters. Me.
Right. You're number one on the list.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's so sweet. Listen to her.
I'm telling you, yeah, she's the sweetest friend ever. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get on the roll here. And Kylie, just go ahead and start, and we'll interject you with questions. We may interrupt you a lot because that's how we are, but just
how we roll.
We're going to kind of make you big on the screen too, if you don't mind. Awesome.
Oh no,
not you.
Oh, no, wrong person.
How does that work?
Oh, I don't know how we're going to be able to shift her over. Yeah, we may have to just.
Do some of us have to leave and then come back?
No. Joe, maybe.
Only Joe.
What?
I mean, look at that.
I'm
Dang it, it's not
telling
going to work, Joe.
you. Okay, well then we
All
can
right.
just
Fine.
make her big, and we can be in the background.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah.
So Kylie, we're going to make you big, and then there we go.
There we go. All right.
So I decided I was going to start from the very beginning. I think a lot of things prior to actual makeup application is often kind of neglected, and I think it's really important. I wanted to share some of my favorite tips and tricks prior to even ever touching your makeup. And number one is moisturizing your skin before you ever touch your face with makeup. I think skincare is extremely important, and I think a lot of people often kind of skip that step. And honestly, from a makeup artist point of view, if I was going to invest in anything, I would honestly buy drugstore makeup and invest in my skincare.
Drugstore makeup. So like the hemp stuff, you mean? Sorry, I was being funny.
Like now, I think she
Just
means
ignore
that.
him.
Hemp is legal up here, so any way I can get a hold of it. Just playing.
So after you do your skincare and make sure that your canvas is actually ready to apply anything on it, you can start with a primer. And there's a ton of different primers that you can use. And this is really important. I think a lot of people skip this step, but everybody's skin is different. And so you need to prepare it for makeup differently. I suffer from a little bit of redness and discoloration. So just as in painting, green out credits red. So I use a green primer to help kind of cover up a little bit of my redness. But if you have oily skin, they have primers to help maintain that throughout the day. If you have dry skin, they have primers for that. So it really just preps your face before ever putting on any kind of makeup.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so go
what
ahead, Joe.
What works for you may not work for me, is
Right.
what you're saying.
Everybody's skin is different. So when I'm applying makeup on other people, I make sure I have a range of primers for whatever type of skin I might be.
So how do you, let's just say, how do I know that I have more red spots or brown spots or green spots or whatever? You know what I mean? Like I can't look at you and think, oh wow, Kylie has more red spots on her face than whatever.
Okay, that makes me feel great. So it's one of my biggest insecurities. So I think just individual people, I think you pick apart yourself harder than anyone else does. So I think if there is something that you are a little bit self-conscious about, it'll stand out to you, especially if you're looking in the mirror and at 5 o'clock you see that your forehead's a little shiny. You might be more on the oily side. Or if you have rough patches, you might be more on the dry side. So I think it's just kind of being a little bit more critical of yourself than maybe other people might notice. But in the long run for your makeup, it's going to make a big difference.
Nice.
Okay.
So after you apply your primer, you go in with foundation, and this is something that I'm really excited to share with y'all. So a lot of individuals that are not in maybe the photography world or the pageant world don't use cream foundation. And I think in the photography world and the pageant world, it's a lot more common than just everyday makeup wearers. But it's actually great for everyday use, because I know it can come off a little scary because it is very pigmented, but you can mix this with your favorite moisturizer and it becomes a lot less pigmented, and it's also going to be better for your skin than regular foundation, and it looks a lot better. So there are a ton of different brands you can use. I use a brand called Makeup by Megan, and she actually has a moisturizer that goes exactly with her foundation, and it's amazing. But there are several brands online. RCMA is really big in the pageantry world, along with the photography world. But there are a lot of cream foundations that you can buy at Sephora as well, and the same thing applies to them. So what you do is you just take a little bit out of your palette, and you can use a brush, but I usually just use my fingers, and you apply it to the back of your hand, and then you mix it with any kind of your favorite moisturizer on the back of your hand. And then you're going to take your favorite foundation brush, and this is just kind of a stippling brush. And you're gonna, and also another trick, and this works with any foundation, applying it to the back of your hand first is gonna warm up your foundation so it blends better, instead of just applying straight from the bottle or wherever else you might be applying it to. So I like to warm it up, and also this helps mix it with the moisturizer that I've used. And you're going to push it into your skin.
Okay.
So you started at the bottom. Is there just is that just how you got used to it? Or do you usually start from the bottom and then work your way up, or?
So I usually work from the center of my face and work my way out. You can apply it any way that you see fit. Sometimes I notice if my cheeks are a little bit red, I start out there so they get a little bit more, and then work my way to areas that need a little less coverage.
So one of my questions is, so someone in the comments, they mentioned that they're watching this with Carrie. She said, I have my 9-year-old daughter watching. She loves makeup. And so Kylie, right?
Kylie, yes.
Thanks. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Kylie. So I have 2 daughters also. They're on the younger side, and one's a preteen. And so just got to ask for some of us, is this makeup that we would generally can find? This one is, how do I ask it? Is it expensive?
It's affordable.
Thank you, Sandy.
Like I said, I actually keep a lot of drugstore foundation and other products in my makeup bag because these lines of makeup, I know they might be cheaper, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not as great. They're having to keep up with these higher end brands of makeup, and I don't keep these products in my bag necessarily because they are cheaper, but because I think they're the same quality. And the internet is a great source to kind of find what products are great products for a cheaper price. I use Pinterest a lot, and they have expensive dupes, and they're great dupes for. You can find a foundation that might be $70, but you can also find a foundation that's very similar for $12 at the store. And
nice.
I'm all for that. Like I said, I would much rather invest in my skincare because that's going to be a longer benefit.
Right. Okay. Ooh, that is very good.
Melissa just asked a question too, and she said, "What brand was the green primer?"
So this primer is my absolute favorite. I've used it for about 5 years now, and I've tried other ones, but nothing compares. This is Makeup Forever HD, and there are other green primers. And I love this brand of primer because they have primers for every different skin concern. So even if this green one isn't for you, they're going to have one for whatever your skin concern might be. So I keep their entire range of primers in my bag.
Wow.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say.
Look at this luxurious hair.
Yes.
Yes, my son just interrupted the live broadcast. Thank you, son. You can go away.
Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. So Kylie, would you say that? So, like I mentioned, I have a preteen, right? So, what age do kids really should they start getting into, the kind of level of makeup that you're doing in? Because I don't want my girls going out looking crazy or whatever, but I don't want them, but and I know my wife's going to be here, but as a father, God forbid anything ever happens to my wife, I got to make sure that I'm taking care of my girls. I learned how to do their hair, and they have hair about as curly, if not more, than Sandy's hair. But I can handle that. I can do that. I am confident of that. So again, what age? I guess that question, what age should you start teaching your kids to start doing makeup, or do you suggest?
So I don't think there's any necessarily age that kids can start wearing makeup. I think that it's a form of art, and it's a great way to express yourself. So I started playing with my mom's makeup at the age of 5, just in the bathroom. But I think whatever insecurities you might have, it might be time when you see that their self-esteem is starting to suffer because of those insecurities. So for instance, I was always insecure about the redness of my face. I know it's something I'm more insecure about than other people see. But around the age of 12, my mom saw that it was really affecting how I felt about myself. So she started letting me wear mineral foundation. And I think that that's perfectly acceptable as long as you're doing it modestly. And I do think makeup is not necessarily meant to cover up your flaws. It's just to help bring out what you already have. And I think emphasizing that is really important at that age. But I do think it's okay as long as you start seeing their insecurities really affecting who they are, teaching them that there are ways to make you feel better about yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that, that embracing who you are is important, and feeling good about yourself is important as well.
Oh, I love the way you just said that.
I know. I love that.
That was awesome.
Can you tell that she has has been in pageants before. She's ready. She's got those questions.
I know that was a part of her resume when you brought her on, Joe, but like listening to her, I kind of just lost all. It was like tunnel vision. I'm like, I am buying the juice she's selling right now.
Exactly. So one thing that I noticed, Kylie, and it's probably something that for people out there is like whenever you were applying your foundation, you were also going down your neckline.
Yeah.
As a photographer, I notice this a lot where the face right here is a total different color and then it's a total different color right here. And let me tell you how hard that is to fix in Photoshop. It's really hard.
So I even blend into my ears and all the way down my neckline. And one of the other great benefits of using a cream foundation, I don't know if y'all saw how quickly I applied my foundation all over my face and even down my neck. It blends so easy. So I know it's great for individuals that are in a hurry and just need to rub it on. But I always blend all the way back here. A lot of girls also who think they're blending down into their neck forget that this back.
Oh, right.
That's the neck too.
So always,
especially if you have short hair. Yes. I don't have that problem, but you know, you can definitely see around the neck.
You have so
area.
Many other problems, though, Joe.
Right.
Chris had a question for you.
Okay.
And she says, "I have a hard time keeping lipstick on. Do you have any recommendations or tips to make it last longer?"
Or we can wait to get to that point.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Really good tip for that.
Awesome.
Here's Carrie's asking, Madeline, her daughter, is very creative and artistic. She loves to play in makeup. She won't wear it daily, but I let her wear mascara and eyeshadow on the weekends.
Oh, it definitely is a great way to express yourself, and I find it very therapeutic as well. So
really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Okay. So we're on to the next step. You've applied your foundation.
Yeah, so after you have your foundation on, the next step is concealer. And a great also kind of photography pageant trick as well is you're going to apply it, and this is also a drugstore concealer. It is going to be Maybelline, and it's the Instant Age Rewind. I have tried every expensive concealer out there. This beats them all.
Wow.
Application tool on it, so you don't need a brush, which is also very handy.
And when you say drugstore, this is like Walgreens, CVS,
Walmart,
Target, anywhere you want to go, you can grab this.
Okay.
So the biggest trick for foundation that I've learned is you're going to apply it underneath your eyes in a triangle shape. And this also is kind of goes in with photography. They always talk about, lighting the triangles under your eyes and the shadows. The same thing goes with makeup. So when you use highlighter, you're wanting to bring forward the points of your face that might be kind of not at the forefront of your face, but you want to be the forefront of your face. So you always want your eyes to seem bright. And that's why the triangle is going to bring them forward. So I know it looks crazy right now. It looks like
just trust the process. Trust the process.
And then also a triangle on your forehead. And that's this is the area of your face where if there was a light up here, this is what would hit first. And so that's the same thing you want to do with your highlighter. It's going to make those areas brighter.
Joe, you got to figure out the hypotenuse of your triangles, dude.
Yeah.
What did you just call me?
So after you apply your war paint.
Oh, that was nice. I like that.
Triangles. Another great tip for application is a beauty blender. And this is the actual beauty blender, but you can get any sponge. It doesn't have to be the expensive one.
Make that big, Joe.
But the trick to the sponge is you have to damp it prior to application. So you run it under the sink, squeeze out all the water, and this is to help kind of diffuse the makeup so it makes it look a lot more natural and sit into the skin better.
Oh, so it won't cake on basically. And
yes, the water helps just make it a little bit softer.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
And you're just going to blend that.
Is that from Eckerd's also?
Or the drugstore?
Yes, so you can get this. There's an expensive brand that's called Beauty Blender, but any of the sponges are going to work about the same. And like I said, if you go online and look for Beauty Blender dupes, you're going to find it'll work just as well for half the price.
Beauty Blender dupes.
Yeah, you better
It's
write
gotta
all
be
this
like,
down.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. I'm gonna take notes then, because this is one of those times where I'm gonna take a bunch of notes and then I'm gonna miss everything she's doing. So,
Yeah.
and I want to make
rewatch.
sure as the questions come in that I can ask her while she's going through it.
Oh, we just got a great question
Oh yeah.
about the sponges. How do you disinfect clean sponges between uses?
So the best way to wash all of your sponges and brushes is with Dawn dish soap. It's the one that's gentle on your hands, so that way it's gentle on your brushes as well. And I just use Dawn dish soap on my sponges. But for your brushes, a great trick is to mix olive oil to 1 part dish soap, so it keeps your brushes nice and
Oh.
but
Oh,
drying out. And then you just wash it with that, and then rinse them out as well and let them dry overnight.
right.
That's clever. We got
And-
another question here.
Yeah.
Okay. From Jessica Trevino. She says, beauty blender. How often do you have to wash the beauty blender? I'm wondering because of bacteria settling in the sponge.
Yes, so with dish soap, I wash mine at least once a week, and then I wash my brushes. I try to wash them once a week as well. If we're being honest, it's more like once every 2 weeks, but I do recommend it as often as possible, but being very careful with them. So, making sure that you're not rubbing them real hard to dry them, just let them naturally air dry and taking great care of them, because if you do wash them too much, it's kind of like your hair, they will dry up.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know. I feel that.
Yours looks kind of dry, Joe, but that's okay.
They told me to wash it every day, and I just like,
Oh my gosh. So Kylie, that's kind of like, so me and Joe and I, we work in IT also, and we always tell people, I'm like, reboot your computer at least once a week, because if not, you'll have what happened to me just before the show started.
Right.
So I hear you.
So after you do your highlighting, you're going to come in. It's the same concept, but it's the areas of your face that you want to shadow. So you come in with contour, which is just a darker shade than what your foundation would be. And so you would do, if there was a light right in front of your face, this is kind of the areas of your face that would not necessarily hit the light first.
I see.
Your
And
forehead.
this helps shape everything.
Yes. And I know a lot of individuals are scared to use this step because I know it does seem intimidating, but the trick with this is your product. So finding a product that's very blendable is going to be your friend. And this is not a drugstore product, but I'm sure there's a great dupe. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. And the reason why I love this is because it's nearly like a skin tint and it's impossible to mess up. It blends so easy. And if you just put it in the spots and kind of rub it in, you're going to look great. It's not going to leave hard lines or anything like that. So there's no reason to be intimidated by this step if you have the right product.
Okay.
Okay. While you do that, I got a question I want to ask you now, and I'm gonna be open here. I'm gonna be open. So I have the opposite problem that Joe has, and I got a shiny head up here when I do the show at night. So it's gonna sound weird, but is that something that I would use to help the shine back off a little bit?
So what I would use you could use this a little bit to just kind of draw less attention from the light, but also just using a transparent powder is going to keep any shine. It'll tone it down, and we'll do that right after this step for the areas of our face that we don't want shining. So the same thing would apply for that.
Oh.
And it's transparent. I know the word powder sounds scary, but it has to it.
Okay. I'm gonna replay that clip a few times over and let it settle in my spirit and be like, let me see what God puts on me. But
Jamie, and you have 2 girls, so you have to get your budget
oh
ready.
my gosh. I thought the hair, but this I'm not gonna lie. So one of the benefits of this thing has been my pocketbook and the hairdressers. Like, Sandy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yes, I know it's expensive.
I know, right? Like, see, I should have
Hush your
already been.
You know what? I would have let you have that, Joe, but you don't have curly hair, so you don't really know either.
No, but I know
Sorry,
about
man.
color. Like, my
You know
roots are
what?
showing.
I'm sorry, Kylie. Back to you now.
So this is transparent powder, and you can find this at the drugstore as well. And the reason I like transparent powder is because it's not going to add extra color to your face, but it's going to keep your face from getting shiny throughout the day, and it's going to set your makeup. However, a great trick for photography is not using powders, because flash can often make your skin look dry if you have powders on it. So doing your makeup for everyday is very different than probably doing your makeup for photography, because for everyday use, you do want your makeup to stay on longer, which is what your powders are going to do. But for photography, you're going to want your skin to kind of look how mine looks right now without the powder, and look very moist and dewy a little bit, whereas the powder will make your skin look more dry in flash photography.
I like how you said that, dewy. That makes sense. I'm feeling that.
So
Melissa
Kylie-
asked. Oh, sorry, Sandy. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay, so is this like an everyday look for you, or is this something you would do like a date night or Sunday morning?
So this would be an everyday look. If I wasn't, I know it seems like a lot of steps, but if I wasn't explaining every step, this takes me around 15 minutes every day.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Melissa was asking, what does shades concealer and contour be in ratio to your foundation? I don't think I said that right.
No. What shade should concealer and contour be in ratio to your foundation?
Thanks, Joe.
So I use the 2 shades lighter rule for your concealer and the 2 shades darker rule for your contour. As you get more experience with blending and makeup, you might be able to go a little bit darker with your contour, but 2 shades darker is going to give you the chiseled look that you're looking for and be a lot easier to blend as well.
So if I had really orange skin, I'd want really dark oranger skin concealer?
For the contour, not for the...
Oh, for the contour.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's your
Okay.
So another great trick with your translucent powder is right where we put that concealer earlier in the triangle under your eyes, you're going to pat this powder on, but you're not going to necessarily rub it in yet. So that way when you put on eyeshadow and it falls, which happens a lot, fall on your skin, you're going to be able to just brush it away later. And that way you don't have to worry about redoing your foundation.
I love the way you did that, Kylie. You said brush it away. Do that again. Ooh, snap. Carrie asked the question. She says, is that why sometimes celebs have super harsh white lines or powder marks if the camera flash catches them at a funny angle?
Yes. So for events, they probably have on powder because they're going to be at those events for a long time. And that's great because when you're in person, it doesn't look that way. But when the flash catches the powder, it's going to give off that look.
Yeah, we have to be careful, especially if you're working with a photographer that uses flash. You have to understand that flash is going to hit the light, hit that makeup, and it can reflect back and even make their skin look like ghostly if there's certain SPF in it, I believe.
So you mentioned that ghostly effect right there, Joe, and I was wondering because did anyone else watch? Was it the Disney at home sing along thing a couple weeks back or something?
No, we've already said no.
It was pretty cool, and but I tell you, it was Ryan Seacrest scared the daylights out of me when he was on there. I was like, oh my gosh, he was so white, and I don't mean like white person white. I mean like toilet paper white kind of thing or something. It's just, I was just like, what? He must be sick, and they're trying to conceal it. They're trying to conceal it, but I don't know if they did a good job.
Right.
I'm gonna find that picture, Kylie, later, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Hey, Joe.
Video, it's what they needed.
Yeah.
Scary.
So another great trick after you've done your translucent powder is, I know a lot of women also are a little intimidated by eyeshadow because people come out with these palettes that have so many different colors and you don't know where to put them. A great trick is to actually use your bronzer. And during every day, I don't wear eyeshadow. I actually just put my bronzer right in the crease of my eye, and just like our contouring, the crease of your eye is where light wouldn't hit necessarily. So you want to contour that and make it look a little deeper. And I just put bronzer right there. And that is the only thing I do for my everyday eyeshadow. And this also photographs very well because it's going to give your eye a lot of definition, but it's not going to look overdone.
Wow. So it's not even eyeshadow, it's just bronzer.
Just bronzer. And that's also a great way to save money because you're not buying multiple products. I think that's one thing that women shouldn't be afraid to do is, I know brands market products for specific reasons, but that's really just so they can sell more when a lot of products can be used for multiple different things.
Oh. Yeah, because my daughters were real big into making sure they had the latest palette. I'm like, How many of those colors do you actually use?
Two. Two of the colors.
Our eyeshadow brand for a lot of colors. I actually put it in front of me because a lot of people don't know about it.
Oh wow, look at
This
that.
entire palette was about $15, and it has amazing pigment.
Oh. What brand
That
was it
was-
again?
Morphe.
Morphe.
Morphine.
Y'all listening to that,
Morphine.
ladies?
And it's
Oh.
they have a ton of great products that are very decently priced that you can buy this at Ulta. I believe Ulta just picked up this brand, but it's not an expensive brand. Before you had to order it online, so it was kind of a secret, but I feel like now it's becoming a little bit more mainstream.
Right.
You're their
Oh,
spokesperson. Sorry, Joe, go
Jessica
ahead.
wants to know what brand bronzer that was because she loved it.
This is the Hoola Benefit, and actually, I do know that this is not drugstore, but I do know the best dupe for this, and I've used it. It's called Butter Bronzer, and I'm not sure the exact brand of it, but if you go to Walmart or Target and you find the butter bronzer, or if you Google butter bronzer, it's going to be the first thing that pops up because it has amazing reviews. It actually might be better than this one. This is just what I had in front of me, so I picked it up, but it's amazing. So this is the great brand name, but the butter bronzer is the great drugstore dupe that you can find.
Kylie, I'm going to actually put that in the comments for whoever was asking that so that they can go check it out at Amazon.
And then also a great everyday trick, and this photographs is just as well, is during the day, I don't use eyeliner. And I know a lot of women use eyeliner, but if you line your top and bottom, a lot of times in photographs, it can make your eyes seem smaller, and in photographs, you want to make your eyes appear larger, depending on what you're going for. So I actually apply this to my everyday look, one, because it's really fast, and two, I have smaller eyes, so it does make my eyes appear bigger, is I don't use eyeliner. I use just a dark brown eyeshadow, and I just apply it to the outer corners of my eye with a angled brush. And it's going to give your lash line a little bit definition and bring your eyes up a little bit without overpowering the rest of your eye and making them seem smaller.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
And once again, you can double use products, so I didn't have to buy eyeliner. And I'm using this product for my eyebrows as well, so you're saving money there too.
Cool. I mean, looking hot on a budget. That's great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's important.
Kylie, you need to start a show that's called That Looking Hot on the Budget. John, you and Joe can join together as a,
Right, exactly.
I know you're watching, John. Taking notes.
And if you like the wing look, you can do this with this as well. You're just going to wing it out a little bit. And it's really easy with this angled brush. And bring it in. And that's all I do for my eye color. And then we'll apply mascara here in a little bit. But
What happens when my daughters poke their eye with that thing?
it takes a lot of practice, but good thing that the bristles are soft. So they should.
Oh,
So after we've applied all of our eye makeup, anything that fell is going to have fallen on that powder that we have right there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take it and lightly dust anything that fell off. And this is also going to blend that powder in and take that shine. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 step. And then I bring the powder down the rest of the face that's on the brush. I don't apply anymore, just to make sure that all of my face makeup is set at this point. And then we're done with that.
And so that's probably like minute 10 of your 15-minute thing, basically, if you weren't explaining everything.
Yes, this would be around 10 minutes. And once you practice this, it becomes just kind of secondhand nature. You can, do it probably faster than that. But this really is a really easy everyday look. And I've actually photographed this look. I can put the photograph in the comments, and it looks very glam. But like I said, it's really easy, and it's just all about kind of practicing and making sure that you learn your facial features and what you think looks best and what you feel most confident in. But it doesn't mean the steps necessarily have to be more difficult or take longer. It's just learning your face and what you can do to speed up the process that still achieves the same results as if you'd spent those extra few 30 minutes.
I see.
Carrie's got a question from her daughter, Kylie.
Okay.
It says, Madeline is asking how you keep from making your eyeliner / shadow from fading during the day.
So that's going to come in one of the last steps. We'll save that. We'll do the lips and the eyeshadow here in a second. And I have a great tip, and it's kind of a 2-in-1 tip that'll cover both of those.
All right, Carrie, tell her don't go to sleep yet. Tell her to keep those eyes open, okay? I know we're past her bedtime, but this is good stuff for her.
Right.
So something else that I think is really quick and really easy is using, instead of using powders on your brows, which you can do, which is exactly what I use as my eyeliner. But I know that a lot of women are a little bit intimidated to outline their brows because it can come off very harsh if you have a little bit of a heavy hand. So using a colored brow gel, this is the Benefit Give Me Brow, but there's a ton of other brands at the drugstore that you can find that are just as great as this. This shade just happens to be perfect for me, so this is what I pick up. But it doesn't necessarily mean the product is any better itself. It's tinted gel, so as you're putting this on your brows, it is actually going to color them in as well and grip to the hair. As you can already tell the difference between this eye and that.
Wow.
It's not necessarily going to rub off on your skin really harsh because it's a gel, so it's really just going to stick to the hair and stick to your natural shape as well. So it's really easy, and it also gives you a great look as well that's still glam, but also a little bit softer than it might be if you filled them in with, say, a pencil or a powder.
And what's the brand of that? Write that down, Jamie.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me what it was again.
One more time.
The Benefit Give Me Brow. And this has great ratings. This is one of those products that I think is worth a little bit of the extra money, but I'm sure there are great dupes. It's just one that I haven't looked into, so I don't know right offhand. But I do love this product, and I bought this. This is probably my 4th bottle. And anytime I buy more than one, it means it's really good because I try everything.
Okay, good.
And this is the eyeliner, right?
This is the brow gel.
Brow gel.
I'm sorry. I even saw it on there, but I don't know what it means.
So because it's a gel, so it's going to make sure your eyebrows stay in place all day as well. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you've ever noticed in photographs, there's sometimes up close beauty shots, sometimes your eyebrow hairs go in different directions, and this is just going to make sure that they stay where you want.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like eyebrows. I've totally seen eyebrows go in different directions.
Yes,
right. Oh, mine are going different directions too. So that's why I need that. Thank you for writing that down.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I was thinking more like when they draw them on differently, the right-handed, left-hand draw.
This is going to help with that too because it's a little bit more natural, but since it's a gel, it'll stick to your natural hair, and your eyebrows should be pretty symmetrical naturally. So instead of having the gel on, this is just going to follow your natural shape.
A couple years ago, my daughter got a little curious and grabbed the razor and just started shaving her eyebrows off. I was like, "What did you do? Oh my gosh!"
Oh no!
I was like, "Oh," but she was so cute. It didn't matter. She looks cute. She's a cutie. Yeah.
Brows are done. Brows are done.
So then after that, we are almost done. We have just 3 more steps and we're done. So we have our blush, and for photographs, I recommend using a cream blush, and you can find an array of brands of cream blushes, and they're all the ones I've tried have all worked great. I don't really have one that stands out more than the others. But for everyday look, a powder blush is great. So this is going to be Warm Soul by MAC. This is one of my favorite colors to keep in my bag because it looks great on so many different skin tones.
Warm Soul by MAC?
Yes, correct.
Oh, and MAC is a little bit pricey, right?
It is.
Okay.
And I'm sure this is one that you can find a dupe for the color. But I do know I've used this on fair skinned blondes all the way to a ton of different nationalities and races, and it has looked great on every skin tone I've ever applied it to. And I think it's because it's a little bit peachy and a little bit golden, that no matter what your skin tone is, it's not going to be too pink or too dark or too light. It kind of falls in that really natural flush tone, and it has a little bit of a shimmer, so it makes everybody's skin just look a little bit perkier and just
a little bit more Twilight-ish.
Yes.
What is that stuff called again? I got the name, but blush. That's what it is, right? Sweet. I'm learning.
And it seems like this would last longer because you're only putting it on your cheeks. That's it, right? It's not like it's going all over. So even though it might be a little bit more expensive, it's probably going to last longer because you're not really applying a lot.
Correct. I use this every day, and I probably go through 2 of these a year. So
wow.
It seems expensive, but when you look at it in the long run, it's really not
I'm
It's
gonna have to buy a
one
few of those
cent
now.
a day if you're calculating.
I feel like we just kind of verged on that path where it's like, you feed a family for like 2 cents a day or something like that. Sorry, I just
The average makeup. That's how you make it make sense. After your blush, the next step is actually going to be, I do lips next. So this is how you're going to make your lips.
and this goes back to the question earlier, right? This is
Question
what Chris asked. I have a hard time keeping lipstick on. Do you have any recommendations or tips to make it last longer? Here's the answer.
So to make your lipstick last longer, you need to use a lip liner, and don't just outline the outer part of your lips. I fill in my entire lips with my lip liner, a little bit heavier on the outside, but if you give your lips a base of some kind of texture, your lipstick is going to stick to that better than it would your actual skin, and the texture of lip liner sticks to your skin better than the cream of a lipstick. So therefore, applying this first makes the lipstick last longer because this grips to your lips better than a cream would.
Interesting.
Wow.
So do you have, while you're doing that, do you have a sorry, is there care about which brand or what type you get of this lip liner then?
So lip liners is one of those products that I've used, $1 lip liner that I found, and it works great, or I've tried the more expensive brands. One of my personal favorites is a little bit more expensive, and I do think this is one of those products that you can see the difference sometimes in the pricing because of the way it does make your lipstick last longer, and also the texture of the actual product itself. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat, and this is my absolute favorite. Once again, it's a little bit pricey, but you might go through 3 of these a year. So I know it seems pricey up front, but it's one of those products you don't use a lot. So it lasts you quite a while, but the texture of this is very creamy, whereas some lip liners kind of give off a chalky feel and they're going to make your lipstick look drier, whereas this applies really easy and it's not going to give texture to your lipstick as well.
Wow.
What was that? I got Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, but was there something missing?
Yes, so it's this Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat, and it's just their lip liner. And I use the color Iconic Nude, which isn't necessarily a lot different than my natural lip color, but I don't necessarily use it for that reason. I use it to make my lipstick last longer.
Okay, so I have this is my only question that I have because all I wear is lipstick. But so my question is, I want to do the nude lip so bad, but I look like a colonial child, and so it does not look good on me. What do I need to get my nude lipstick to look good?
So I think nude lips, the name itself can kind of be a little bit deceiving. So nude for everybody is so different.
Right.
I think a lot of times brands put off nude and they're very light. And for everybody, that's not going to work. Necessarily, my nude color is going to be pretty dark, and that's just because of the natural color of my lips is pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you think of nude, sometimes you have to think outside of the box a little bit, and nude might be a darker shade than you think off front, but when you put it on, it's going to blend very well with your skin tone, and it's going to look nude. Whereas when you're looking at the actual lipstick, it's not going to necessarily appear as nude as it does on your skin, if that makes sense.
It does. So I need to go shade darker than my normal lip.
Yes, and I know that I'm not necessarily endorsing watching the show, but the makeup brand from Kim Kardashian has a nude set of lip liners that range in shades from the lightest to the darkest. So that might be something if you're experimenting with nude lipstick that you want to look into, because the lightest is obviously for fair skinned individuals, where the darkest is going to be appealing for people with more pigmentation in their skin. And I think it ranges from like a 1 to a 6, and they have half shades in there as well. So you're finding your range of nude, because no one's nude is going to be the same.
Right.
I like how she said that, with more pigmentation, because never mind. We got a question here. The lips is a good question. Our topic, Cynthia Morin, my cousin, she says, I always have my lips chap up after I put on my lipstick. Any recommendations to get that to stop?
Yeah, so once again, kind of going back into skincare, don't neglect that part of your face when it comes to skincare. So when I wash my face, I also use my exfoliating brush on my lips to get off any dead skin, because just like your face, your lips need to be exfoliated as well, or you can get a lip scrub. And also when I put on my moisturizer, I make sure to moisturize my lips. And also before I go to bed at night, they have lip masks that you can buy, but you don't have to do that. Just throw on some.
Hush, a lip mask.
Yes. But also sometimes when I'm applying my moisturizer prior to putting on my foundation, I throw on a chapstick. So while I'm doing the rest of my makeup, that has time to make sure my lips are moisturized prior to putting on my lipstick.
Nice.
Huh.
Good to know.
Really important because you wouldn't really think, oh, I need to exfoliate my lips. But just
No.
in case your skin sheds, and that skin needs to be shed as well, especially living somewhere where it might be more dry.
Interesting. I heard a conspiracy about lip chapstick. We won't get into it now, but after the show.
Your crusty lips if you get it.
No, I'll tell y'all about it after the show. We'll put it in the B-roll later. Okay?
Right. So you've applied the lipstick now.
Yeah, so you just apply your lipstick, and I just follow the natural line of my lips. And your lip liner should have set a great base for your lipstick. So you just kind of wipe it on, and your lip liners should hold it in place because you kind of lined your lips. So you've set a great outline for where that's going to go. So you just put it on, dab it in, and we're good. I actually am not a huge fan of the super liquid matte lips because I do have drier lips. So I always opt for a more creamy lipstick, and it stays on because we prepped our lips prior. But if you don't have drier lips, those liquid lips are a great way to make sure that your lipstick lasts all day.
Okay.
After that, yes. So then we're going to move on to our second to final step, I believe. And it is going to be what is going to make your makeup last all day. And this is going to be setting spray. And I think it's NYX has a great setting spray that is a drugstore setting spray. I think it's around $6, and it's amazing. I use it all the time. However, this is Makeup Forever. This is the same brand I used as the primer. And I just believe that these two go well together because this is going to also make my makeup last a little bit longer. My primer is with this. So I believe they work well together because they are the same brand. But
And not the matte finish, right?
yes. So this is going to be, and you're going to want to make sure that you get a little far.
Okay. I'm away.
And I was closing my eyes too. I'm flinching.
I know. I found myself backing up from the screen. I'm like, okay, don't get on me.
And I know this, I used to never use this set, but I think it's actually very beneficial. And I have noticed it has made my makeup last so much longer than it did prior to using a setting spray. Because I know it just seems like a spray, but it really does work. And it doesn't just make your makeup last longer. It's going to help set those powders in so your skin doesn't look as dry face to face after using powders on your skin. However, it's going to make sure that your makeup is set onto your face for the rest of the day.
Did anyone else feel like there was that spray that just came over them and you felt the taste on your tongue? I was like, oh my gosh.
I think it smells really good, right?
Yeah. I mean, it smelled good, but it was a little tingly.
And they have setting sprays that actually have skincare in them. So not only are they doing your makeup a favor, they're doing your skin a favor all day. And sometimes on days that it's really hot or dry, I find myself just going back, instead of touching up my makeup, I just touch up my setting spray, and you'll be amazed at the difference that you see just by touching up your makeup with a spray to help keep it fresh and moisturized.
So they have it like where you have the shampoo and conditioner in one. It's like your spray and moisturizer in one.
So it makes it easy.
Okay, cool.
And then after you do that, I always do that prior to doing my mascara. So that way it doesn't wet your mascara and you don't have to worry about it going all over your face. I noticed, yes. So that's another great little trick is I know that might seem like a last step, but always remember to do it before your mascara so you don't have to worry about getting your mascara anywhere else after it's dry, you re-wet it, and then it goes everywhere. So
right.
Do it prior, save yourself a step.
What brand are you? Is there a specific one you like for the? Is there a specific one you like?
So actually, this is my absolute favorite mascara, and it is a drugstore brand. I've tried every expensive brand up to Dior, and this outdoes them all. And it is the Maybelline Colossal Volume Express mascara. And I am always finding myself wanting to try new mascaras just because marketing is great and they tempt you to do so. But I always try this one.
Falsies?
That's also a great one, and you can find it at the drugstore.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought that I got confused when you were saying it, and then when I started typing it, it auto-filled in and said falsies. I was like, wait a minute.
I think this brand makes a mascara called Falsies, and it's also really great.
Melissa's asking, does your moisturizer have SPF, or do you apply SPF separately?
So that's a great question. SPF is extremely important, and a lot of foundations nowadays actually have SPF in them. However, mine does not, so I make sure that it is in my moisturizer. But once again, if we're talking pageantry or photography, you're going to want to use foundations and moisturizers that don't have SPF in them because they're going to give you that white backflash.
Right.
And that's something you want to avoid. So
for everyday,
what's his name? Yes, for everyday use, you do want to make sure that you do have that SPF. But for photography or pageantry or anything that you're
or date night.
Yes, anything you're going to be under bright lights or think you're going to be taking photos, you're going to make sure to avoid that.
Right. All right, Sandy. No, you got avoid that for the TikTok, okay?
Okay.
All right. Carrie's saying so. What was that?
Nothing.
Oh. Carrie's saying so. When women used to go quote unquote powder their noses, we need to be spraying. Got it.
Yes, that is a great trick. You can powder your nose throughout the day, but like I said, I found that powders can make you look a little bit dry, whereas the spray is going to make your skin look a little bit more radiant and healthy and a little bit more natural as well. But powders do have their time and place, and I think it's all about learning how much your skin can handle without getting to a point where you don't believe it looks great. So do I use powders every day? Yes, but I also have very dry skin. So for me, how much powder I can use personally might be different than somebody with oily skin who could handle a little bit more powder than I could.
Interesting.
I'm going to throw this on the screen for you, Kylie.
There's Mama. So are you done then?
I am done. For some days, you can always go in and do more or less. So let's say this is just my everyday look, and this is exactly what I do for every single day. I might want to transition from my everyday look to a quick nighttime look. They say we're going out to dinner. All I would do is simply, I'll show you all because it takes 30 seconds, is grab my bronzer and just give my face a little bit more shape. And this is what we used as eyeshadow earlier. And go over those parts that we contoured prior.
Wow. That was kind of cool.
I might just give myself a little bit more definition. And all of a sudden you go from, everyday look to a little bit more higher end model-esque.
No kidding. Look at that.
Stop it right now.
30 seconds.
No joke. I was like, what?
Okay, so I watch, and that's one of my guilty pleasures, watching all these makeup videos. And these girls go from not very attractive to all of this. They're like hot. Okay, yeah. You were beautiful to begin with, and then and now you've added this color, and you still look the same. And it's gorgeous, and it's not over the top and everything. And I totally love it. Totally not what I was expecting. I thought you were going to change your whole face.
Well, but I definitely think, like I said earlier in the video, I think makeup it should be used to, make yourself feel great about the features that you already have. Does that mean sometimes, when we're going out to an event, I don't want to throw on false eyelashes and go all out? No, there's still a time and place for that. And if that's what makes me feel beautiful that day, that's what I'm going to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think learning how to embrace what you're already given is really important when it comes to makeup, because it's going to make your everyday a lot quicker, and it's going to make you feel more confident in your everyday routine as well.
Girl,
you look great. I love it. And it's so natural looking.
I think and I think your products have a big play in that, and also how you apply them. And like I said, skincare is going to make sure that your foundation is ready for the makeup, and it's going to make sure it looks and lasts all day.
Wow. All right, guys. So the important thing here is you get the right products. Don't have to go spend a buttload of money. You get what she put in the comments. Go back and rewatch this so you can hear some of those things. But the best thing to have is just have the confidence in what you look like and that you look good, and you're just building on top of that.
Right.
Absolutely. That's what I heard.
Yes, and I think it's really important. And does that mean that you have to love everything about, yourself? No, because none of us are. But I think that's one of the great things about makeup is you can learn to bring out the features that you do love. And you can learn to maybe not necessarily hide the features that you don't love, but make sure that they're not brought to the forefront compared to the features that you do love. And that's, done with highlighting and contouring and our concealers and things like that. It's just learning to bring out what you do love about yourself and maybe not hide what you don't, but just make sure that the features that you do love are the features that are seen first.
Wow.
Well, awesome.
Send a special shout out to Madeline since her daughter was staying up extra late past bedtime to watch it tonight. She says,
Madeline,
she says, thank you for such a great message for my daughter. You're great, Kylie.
Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I hope y'all learned a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You blew our minds.
Yeah, no kidding. This was awesome. This was fantastic. You are a fantastic person to come on here and show us this. That was amazing. Thank you. Right. I gotta say, I don't watch a lot of makeup videos, to be honest with you. This was the first one, but I'm glad it was you.
Right.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me, and I love sharing, my passion, and it's something you can always grow with. So even if you're not a makeup guru, pick up a brush and just start exploring. You might find something that you love, and might just walk out feeling a little bit better about yourself, and that's always a great thing. A little bit of self-confidence goes a long way.
Yeah. So I know we're a little bit over time, but that's okay. We want to know if there's something that's going on in your life that you want to kind of plug or let people know about. Do you have a makeup page or anything like that you want to share?
So I am about to start doing a lot more makeup here in the Houston area. I worked for a nonprofit prior to this doing communications, and I loved that as well. However, we had an amazing opportunity for me to be able to do this. So if you're in the Houston area, please contact me for any of your makeup needs, or sometimes I travel to Lubbock as well. So be sure to watch out on my social media pages. My Instagram is Kylie J. Boyd. And if you watch there, I always post when I'm coming to Lubbock. So hopefully if you're in Lubbock, we could work together then, or if you're in the Houston area, I'd love to work with you there as well.
Awesome.
That is so cool. Okay, and then final question. Jamie, go ahead.
Okay. So we always ask our guests to give us a topic for a future episode, and we'd like to see, do you have a topic that you'd like for us to cover that's positive and upbeat?
Great.
And it can be anything you want.
It doesn't have to be photography related.
No,
not unless you wanted to, but
if
choice.
You can, I know somebody that's pretty good at that.
Well, I think Joe actually set the stage for a great next topic. I think since we covered makeup, I think hair would be extremely.
That would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need a little bit of help.
Fabulous.
Yeah, when he says he needs a little bit, he means not a bit. Okay.
Kylie, thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you, Kylie.
It's so happy to have you here, and just to catch up with you. I was able to catch up with her a little bit before she came on the show, so it's always fun chatting with her, and I can't wait till she comes to the Lubbock. But we will bring you on again sometime, hopefully in the future, if we ever do another makeup episode for sure.
Yeah, I got to learn that dab a little bit. I couldn't get that down earlier.
Oh my goodness! Did you just do that?
What just happened?
Sorry.
All right. Kylie, you have a great night.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you so much for coming.
We'll be in touch.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate it. And good luck to everybody out there that's going to try to apply some of these tips here in the future.
Awesome.
Yes, this pics.
Thanks, Kylie. Have a good night, okay? Wow. That was so cool.
That was so cool. That's a lot of information.
No kidding.
Yeah, and she did it she did it quickly, like a lot quicker than I was anticipating. Even though she was at, we're a little bit over or whatever, but she did really good about making sure that she was sharing all the information and stuff like that. So
yeah,
we were able to record some of it. Like I was able to get it typed up and put in there so people can go on and you guys can click on those links, and those are the products she was using. And just go back and rewatch too, because she, there's some of the products I didn't catch because I was just so enthralled and I was like, what is going on?
Right.
Here?
Exactly.
Like, wow.
And if you have any questions specifically for her, you can go ahead and put them on the comments, and then we can either reach out to her and ask for sure, or she can reply to your comment and make sure that we get the right information to you.
And we'll get her her Twitter. I think, was that what she gave us? Her
Instagram.
Twitter?
She gave her Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah.
We can put her Instagram in there so that way you guys can go back and click on that too.
Awesome. Well, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, no kidding.
We appreciate that. We try not to go over, but when we have great guests, they're going to stick around.
Right.
And you know what?
Over.
When you're making your own show, you can kind of set it how you want to, right?
Right, exactly. We don't have the man holding us down.
That's right. No man here.
Right, exactly.
But seriously, love you guys. And as usual,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Everyone.
Good night.
Get those roots done.